name is Brandy, the Revenue Buff, and we are live with the Revenue Success Club, RSC News Daily, the magazine publication, and I am in a wonderful location. It smells beautiful. If you could taste the smell, that's how I'm feeling right now. But man, without further ado, I'm gonna let this wonderful business owner introduce herself and where we are currently.
All right, so hello everybody. My name is Brandy. I am the founder and creator of 313 Cinnamon Rolls. I welcome you into our space.
Okay, man. When I say it's beautiful in here and it smells wonderful, so when you think about pastries or bakeries or dessert lines, you think about old ladies in aprons running behind. But this is a modern, more pleasant place,
Yes.
Smell, of sight, of setting.
Yes.
It gives me cafe, boutique,
Yes.
elegance, luxury, all
Yes.
of that before I even think about a cinnamon roll.
Right.
So give me a little bit of what started the idea to even want to come out with the cinnamon roll company.
Okay, so first off, come on boutique. We call ourselves a Cintiq, which is a cinnamon roll boutique.
So I'm right on point there.
You are.
Okay.
You are. We love small, intimate, vibey spaces, and that's what we tried to create here. When we originally started, we started as a vegan dessert company. We wanted to make all the things that we missed being on our vegan journey, and it started with a cinnamon roll. We created it, we loved it, y'all loved it, and we turned it into a cinnamon roll company. So when we decided to switch gears and go into making cinnamon rolls, we said, hey, well, let's make them in every flavor that we miss. Peach cobbler, banana pudding, strawberry, sweet potato, cheesecakes, cookie flavors, whatever you could think of, that's what we're making.
Oh man, that's wonderful. So the variety. So you say to go back. So these are vegan.
They are.
Cinnamon rolls.
They are.
So what would be for those, for the people out there that don't understand the difference? What is the difference between a vegan cinnamon roll and I would say a regular cinnamon roll?
Absolutely. So our products are 100% animal free. There's no milk, there's no eggs, there is nothing that is an animal product in our products. We use oat milk butter and oat milk. So we make sure that we're also conscious of those with nut allergies. A lot of vegan products have nuts. They're nut-based, cashew, almond, etc. We originally started with a nut butter, a cashew butter, but we switched it to oat milk so that we have something for everyone.
Oh man, that's wonderful. So going through this vegan journey, because I take it you were vegan.
I am.
What was one thing that stood out to you going, because you started off not vegan, going vegan. What was one thing that stood out to you that was missing in the culture of veganism when it comes to enjoying yourself and those taste bud palates?
I think for myself, one thing that was missing was a delicious vegan treat. So I love to eat, and I could always find a potato chip, a popcorn, whatever. That's easy enough. But when I was looking for things like cakes, cinnamon rolls, danishes, donuts, those were harder to find. And to find one that was of a great quality and a great price was even harder. So our mission here, the one thing that we do, we like to believe we do it very well, is have a great price point and an even more amazing product.
I like that. So going through that journey yourself of being a vegan, as well as collaborating inside of the business model, what was the enlightenment or the download that came to you? When was the point that you was like, you know what, this is something that I have to do? How did it come to you?
Well, I got to give that one to God, because I was determined to make a vegan dessert company. And one of the first dessert we rolled out was the cinnamon roll, and it just kind of went crazy. Like, people loved it, but I kept wanting to make a Danish, a donut, and all these other things. And God told me, turn it into a cinnamon roll company. And I said, no, I wanna make a donut. And once I became obedient to the plan, it just flowed. Like, we had cinnamon rolls of all flavors. Our first location, which was inside of Macomb Mall, we opened that in September of 2023, and then we just continued to grow from there.
Oh man, that's wonderful. So one thing about business and opening up business is your customers.
Yes.
So we was able to be here live while you got customer interaction.
Yes.
So we're not going to get the customer on camera, but we're going to spin off and we're going to allow you to handle your business.
Okay.
But we still rolling though.
Okay, perfect. Hello. How are you? Oh, you got the Too Good to Go order? Yes, ma'am. You have one? Okay. You're welcome.
Come in here.
Actually, my second. The
Okay.
first time I discovered it, I was just I used to start this to learn about the businesses. To where I don't get out a lot.
Okay.
And I had such a warm experience with one of the employees.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to try it again.
Yes, we love that. We're glad you came back.
I told a lot of people about you.
Thank you.
Because I was very impressed when your points were great.
Thank you so much. I'm glad you came back today. We see you soon?
Yes.
Okay. See ya.
So, and this is the next thing, I'm glad that happened. Nothing happens for no reason. Because as a business owner with a different business model, coming into a new space and dominating that space is important.
Yes.
But the people that you grow with and that you implement inside the business is more important now than it is ever.
Yes.
How did you handpick your employees?
So we put out a feeler that said, do you have that synergy? One thing we love is to make a word into a CINN word, a sin word. So we take the beginning of cinnamon and we turn syntastic, synergy, anything. And we had a young lady, she emailed me and she said, I got that synergy. And I said, yes, she do. Yes, she do. And so we went through the interview process and she was just a perfect match.
Okay. So we in rush hour right now, so we got another customer coming. So we're going to keep rolling and do business.
Okay. Let's just step. So we actually are handling business. So
We're back.
and we back.
So coming into that space, we were speaking about how important it is to have the right people. We were talking about the young lady who said she had the synergy.
Yes.
What's one thing that stood out about her, outside of her chiming in? What's one thing that stood out to say, okay, this is somebody that I want to help me build my business?
So we're a big energy space. We're about the vibes, about the energy. We are about that conversation. One thing that's really important to me is that when you come into this space, you do catch a vibe. When you come in, you might not be feeling light, but when you leave out, we want you to have that light on you. We want you to feel like you had an opportunity to come in and release. In this space, we have a lot of conversations that people probably didn't even know they were going to have when they entered the doors. So we want to be able to have that spirit, that light, that energy that brings you in and says, I feel warm here, I feel safe here, it feels good here. And that's what she brought to the table. When we interviewed, she just had that magnetic energy that I knew would make people say, hey, this is amazing. Because I can't be here at all times, right? You can't grow a business being in a business. So I need time outside the business to handle business. And those whom are here when I'm not here, they need to be carrying that same light that I carry for each and every one of our center friends.
That's right. I like that a lot. So give me a little bit of your past. Before you was this wonderful, fantastic.
Yes, come on, Sinward.
What were you doing before? What industry of work were you in?
I was in the mortgage industry and I was in leadership, which I loved because I love the opportunity to help others. So I was not the type of leader that was just out here like, let me tell you what to do. Like, no, let's figure it out. I'm the type of leader that's in the weeds with my people. We are a team. We all gonna know how to do something. There's no just we out here delegating. Let's get into it. Let's get it done. This is a safe space, an open space. And I always told my team members, like, listen, no matter what it is that you're trying to do in life, You can kick it with me about it. It doesn't have to only pertain to what's happening here. If you want to grow outside of here, bet, let's figure out how we can get you there. Because everything is not about this space. Everybody has a life that does not pertain to just what they're doing in that moment. And the vision is so much greater. And if you can see that, then, and you can help others see that, then you really are living and doing what needs to be done on this earth. But I feel like I tried to be the leader that I felt I needed in my younger years, someone that was encouraging and not just about hitting the numbers or my reports or this and that. So I spent my time in leadership, and then when I started this, I said, okay, God, we're gonna take these months. If we don't get it right, then we'll stick with corporate America. But if we get it right, I promise you I will let that go. Instead of holding on to it like a crutch, I said, let me let it go and step into this. And things were going beautifully, and I said, all right, let it go, let's get out here.
I like that. I like that. What would you say for a person that's stuck in between what you will call stepping out on faith and reality clenching you by the pearls? Because, you know, it's a fine line in between there. What's some encouraging words that you would give to that person right now that know that they want more or know they want something different? They're kind of stuck in that point.
I would say get into the spirit of being unstuck. See it little by little. Sometimes you don't have to jump into everything with both of your feet, but you do have to move your feet. You have to start making the steps forward, because if you're not moving, then you are literally stuck. Like, it's just not a thought, it's a physical thing. You are stuck if you're not moving your feet. So start moving those feet little bit by little bit, and forward, not backwards. So it doesn't have to all be at once. Yeah, it is scary, but every day you got to wake up and move in a purpose. So when we want to make a change, it's a purposeful effort. We can't just say like, I want to stop cussing, and then the first thing you do is start cussing when you wake up. You got to take a second, or even if you do cuss, back up off of it. You know what I'm saying? Because one word versus 10 cuss words, but one, and then you check yourself like, okay, let me turn that around. One thing that I had to do in life was take a pause. Walk away from this for 5 minutes. And when you come back, where are we at with it? And so sometimes we have to take that purpose, be purposeful, and say, okay, this is what I want, this is where it's at, and you can't let it scare you to the point that you're like, I can't move towards that. You can work a job and get to the business too, but slowly start letting it go. Have you a game plan, like, okay, this is going to fund this until we get here, or whatever it is, map it out, and then start moving your feet.
I like that, I like that. What is something that you learned about yourself in between those shifts? Because leadership in industry and leadership and entrepreneurship is two different leaderships.
Yes.
But it takes a certain type of leader to be able to hone into both of them.
Yes.
So what was something that you learned about yourself in that transition?
To let it go. Let it flow. Let it go and let it flow. Because in corporate, you have a certain amount of control. The reporting says this is where you are and this is where you need to be, and you know exactly what to do to get there, right? You know who needs to do what, when, how, whatever. And then, but in business, there's times where you expect this to happen, but it didn't happen that way. And then you're like, oh, I don't understand, you know, you looking back, because you can run reporting in your business as well. You could look at the analytics and all of that. I look at reporting all the time, and I had to be like, okay, girl, listen, it's all right. You know what I'm saying? Like, let it flow. Let it flow a little bit more, come up off of that train of thought and come into this train of thought. So just shifting the way I flow has been one of the biggest challenges for me, but also the biggest advantage, because it takes that spirit of disappointment off of me. If I'm feeling like I'm not reaching what I've said, and I also don't have any control over that, being like, okay, well, that's the way it went today, and that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. You still good. Keep pushing.
That's right. I like that. I like that. What was one of the hardest moments in entrepreneurship for you that that made you step back for a second? That 5 minutes, say, you know what? Okay, step back and breathe. And then, you know what I mean, get back to it. What was one of those things? Because what we want to do is we always highlight the good, but people can see the good, but they feel the bad. So you know what I mean? Maybe not so much of the bad, but something that you like, okay, I had to recalibrate myself.
Yeah, absolutely. When we decided to close our Macomb Mall location, that was something that I kind of mulled over for a minute. Like, I didn't want to disappoint my center friends. I didn't want to seem like I failed. I didn't want to seem like I was losing. But I would tell everybody there's a win and a fail. If you know how to take a loss or what is perceived as a fail and find the positive in it, there is a win in that. And so when I decided to close, it was a struggle for me because I knew the reasoning. I knew I needed to realign. I knew this was no longer the right channel to grow the business. It was a great start, but I knew there was bigger for us. I knew we can grow bigger and do greater things, and that wasn't the right avenue for it. But it was hard to say, we're going to close these doors and I'm going to take a rest and then I'm going to realign and we'll be back. And learning that space really did prepare me for this space, right? Because it took me maybe about a year to find a new space, but in the meantime, I was still working the business, but I was also working myself. Like, this is what we're going to do the next time around. This is how we're going to change this, or this is how we're going to maneuver that. And focusing in on that took away that bad guilt or whatever I was feeling, and it allowed me to turn it into this positive space that we have now.
That's dope. I like that. Who were some of your influences in life, not just in business or not just in corporate, but in life? What were some influences that you had that made you and helped mold you into a woman of today?
Well, I have to give the first shout out to my daddy. he's always been a super amazing father, hard worker, dedicated, loyal. He has all girls, and bless his heart for that, because I know we be driving him crazy. So he has always just kind of shown me this path and this way to be. He actually created one of our first flavors, which was the apple pie. But he always kind of showed me this path and this way to be. I always say that he put the foundation under my feet. And even when I fell off that foundation, or I wanted to go another way, or I wanted to do something different, he'd be like, okay. But he knew what he know what he set up. He's like, you all right? You know, come get a hug. That's what Daddy always say. Like, when I call, like, oh, this way, bro, you'll be all right. Come get a hug. You know, and it was like, it let me know it was tough, but it was effective because it let me know just that you will be all right. Go on about your day. Go give a hug. Go get a hug, or whatever it may be. And then along my business path, I've ran into a lot of amazing people and businesses that have opened the doorway for me to be able to grow. And it's like, oh, you could come here if you like, no cost. And that is one thing that I do to try to pay it forward in my space now. Like, come here, set up, no cost, come see us, you know, or whatever the case may be.
I like that, and it's funny because I'm a girl dad as well.
Yeah.
3 beautiful daughters, and that was amazing. You know what I mean? I like that. That's
Thank you.
That's what I aim for, you know what I mean? But one thing that showed up in your character is when we walked in, the way that you embraced us.
Yes.
Was that same example of what you were held to. So he's raised an amazing daughter. And
Thank you.
You represent him well.
Thank you.
For the girls and the women that's struggling with identity of themselves, you know what I mean? Because it's easy to get lost and to get shattered and get swapped up. As a woman, what is something that you would give them if you give them just one punch or a super punch? What would that one jab be?
Look at me, girl. Look at me. You are beautiful. You are everything. And you got this. One thing that we are missing, or one thing that's happening in this world, is the spirit of comparison. But you are beautiful enough to be compared to. You don't have to compare yourself to someone else. And I think part of the problem out here is just that comparison. Like, oh, well, she's doing this or she has that. No, baby, what are you doing? What are you about? And one thing that I always tell my daughter is like, you are absolutely that thing. Like, you are. And you don't have to change because you don't feel like this is right or that's right. I promise you, there's someone looking at you right now saying, she's so beautiful. I want to have that outfit, or I wish my hair was like that, or whatever. Stand in that, be proud in that, and then encourage that girl, that woman, to be somebody amazing, you know? So you are enough, and that's what I need all my girlies to know, all my women to know. Y'all are enough. We are all beautiful. There is space for all of us, and there is room for all of us to win.
You heard it loud and clear. So if the people can find you anywhere,
yeah,
where would it be that they can find you?
So we are in Midtown and we love being here. This actually, let me tell y'all. So maybe a year ago when I left Macomb Mall and I was thinking about where do I want to be next, I said I would love to be in Midtown, but I don't know how I'm going to pull that off. I didn't know how I would find a space. I didn't know how I would afford a space. Like, I just didn't know if it was feasible. But we're here now. And this is another message to everybody. You can do it. Like, whatever it is that you set your eye on, your dreams on, if you work towards it, you move your feet. This is a product of me moving my feet. But we are in Midtown. We're located at 119 Garfield Suite 200, and we're directly across from the VA hospital. So although our address is on Garfield, our main door faces John R. We're directly across from the main entrance of the VA hospital.